You are listening to Lovely Talks Heavy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lovely Talks Heavy. I am your host, Lovely, and I discuss everything I enjoy with regard to heavy music. This week, we're going to be looking at some recent metal news that I find interesting, exciting, or just worth talking about. And spoiler alert, this one is heavy on the new music topics, which, hey, isn't that the first thing about metal? The music? Let's get into it. Okay, so for the few days leading up to it, Lordi were teasing what the first single off of Sexorcism would be. This was solely through cropped snippets of what the single art was being posted through social media, which is fine. Though in my opinion, a bit more could have been done there, like, I don't know, posting a song clip, just enough not to give away which one it was, posting a screenshot from the lyric video, and oh god, we'll get into the lyric video. Just making it more of a guessing game for the fans, you know? Upon the reveal of, I think it was the second to last snippet of the single art that they posted, it was clear that the first single was going to be Your Tongue's Got the Cat. So here I was, ready to go once the lyric video dropped, like, okay, let's blast this Cunnilingus track into my ear holes. And I was taken for quite a surprise for a couple of reasons. Number one, the overall tone of the song, especially in the introduction. Of course, it's hard to tell what to expect with new music unless you're told, this will be explicitly be about blank, and it's going to be fast-paced. Something like that. I guess the song I was expecting to be about Cunnilingus was going to be a bit, I don't know, faster, groovier. But the opening notes, and of course the instrumentation throughout, was more somber. Which, you know, it's fine. I told myself to wait until I heard the whole song before making any conclusive judgments about it. Which I suppose leads me to my next bit of surprise, number 2. The song wasn't about Cunnilingus! Weirdly enough, a band with enough puns and word mashups in their discography to make the Oxford Dictionary go crazy had a song that was straightforward. Which, okay, yes, Lordi do have more straightforward songs in their catalog, don't get it twisted. Would You Love a Monster Man? Who's Your Daddy? Devil is a Loser. Which, that last one is a bit misleading for the hopeful Christian just getting into rock music and wanting to find safe stuff to listen to, but ultimately it explains why the devil is a loser and breaks it down, you know, in a catchy song. But, you know, when you're a band whose upcoming record is drenched with puns and mashups, you can bank on me expecting full commitment to a pun I inferred in a phrase like, your tongue's got the cat. Which, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that my expectations were subverted, though I would be lying at the same time if I said I weren't a bit disappointed that my expectations weren't congruent with the final product. Why don't we actually look at the song, though? The actual subject matter of the song is of a man who is sad and afraid because his wife was possessed by a demon, and he has to keep her shackled down for his own and possibly other people's safety. Though it seems he's unsure of what to do to cast the demon out because he doesn't really explore at all what he can do about his situation. It's just, darn, my wife's possessed by a demon and I'm sad about it. What can you do, though? The wife possessed mentions that their cat looks quite delicious, whips her tongue out like a demonic Yoshi, and eats the cat whole. The rest of the song is more lamenting about his possessed wife and now currently digested cat. It's okay. It's not the worst thing I've heard in terms of Lordi, but it could be better. If Lordi were ever to enter the United States again on tour, you know, and I actually got to see a live show of theirs, I would sing along live to this, but that would be the only place I would be, you know, into this song. But I mean, otherwise, if this were in my personal music library, I'd probably skip over it more often than not. It just doesn't grip me. It does touch on something horrifying and a trope known as that poor cat, so credit for using a tangible reference, I suppose. I did mention the lyric video, which, it's not the worst lyric video I've ever seen. You know, lyric videos aren't supposed to be ambitious. Like, literally, they're supposed to just give you the lyrics and possibly promote tour dates or something like that, promote the upcoming album. That's what they're there for. But one thing about it is just, it invokes this meme known as graphic design is my passion. The ironic joke being there that the graphic design is awful. It's just, as somebody who has studied graphic design for like at least 5 seconds, it frustrates me. And it's like the worst offense in this whole video is that in the bridge of the song, we're shown images of each band member with little black logos to illustrate what instrument they play. You know, cool, whatever. We get to Mr. Lordi though, and most of his image is covered by this black vignette filter. And we don't even get to see what his logo looks like because it's obfuscated by this filter. And I know it's there because you see a little bit of an edge, but not enough to see the actual logo. So it's like, what's the point of incorporating it if I can't even see it? You know, a similar issue is found in the lyrics video for another Lordi song called Nailed by the Hammer of Frankenstein, which was off of Scare Force 1 some years back. Anyway, in that video, during the chorus part, the lyrics are just super hard to read because it's text laid over some busy artwork and no contrast is provided to make it easier to read. You know, it's not too much of a problem because the lyrics are actually pretty coherent, you know, as is with most Lordi songs, but still, if you're gonna put out a Lordi lyric video, I should be able to read the lyrics. Some good news though. I'm sure that the integration of comic-like images into this video is a hint that we'll be getting some more Lordi comics, possibly just to provide, you know, a lyrics reference, like what Scare Force 1 did, instead of lore about Lordi with past Lordi comics, or if you will, Lordi. A bit of my tensions and apprehensions for sexorcism have been eased a bit with this one song, but not so much that I'm easily convinced that it will be a revolutionary culture-defining album or whatever. I mean, I haven't been compelled to revisit the song since it was released, if that says anything. I was kinda stoked to hear that Nervosa were coming out with some new stuff. Admittedly, they're not among my most favorite bands, but I do dig what they do. The Brazilian thrash trio is coming out with Downfall of Mankind through Napalm Records on June 1st, 2018, and the song that's leading the charge on that album is called Never Forget, Never Repeat. The lyric video for that song was released on April 7th. Overall, it's a straightforward song, not too complex in my opinion. It's a general plea for no more war, no more genocide, no more bloodshed, etc., and it slaps you in the face almost. It slaps you in the face and says, look around you, see the shitty state of the world, and let's do something to make it better, okay? The title/chorus of the song tells us that if we work to remember what allowed the shit that's happening to happen, and we work to combat those conditions, we can do better, and history won't be doomed to repeat itself. Never forget, never repeat. I appreciate the deathier metal approach to the instrumentation of the song, and the sudden immersion when you press play is exactly how it slaps you in the face. I am very curious to hear how the rest of this album will unfold. You've probably definitely seen the viral Bat Metal videos where the animators behind the YouTube channel Base. Don't quote me on that. My Russian comprehension is non-existent. I know that anyway. So the animators behind that channel turned Batman into the frontman for a fictional band called Children of Batman, and they perform Death Clock songs. The DC comics aren't my thing really, save for the Teen Titans cartoon, the good one. But I do love Death Clock, and I think these viral videos are quite entertaining. So it's wonderful to see that after their hits with Batman's renditions of Face Fisted and Mermaider, they put out a video where Batman and company perform Awaken and tried to revive a dead Joker. This was the most anticipated Bat Metal video yet, and it showed in the views it accumulated on just day one of its release. Following this video, the song Awaken was brought back onto the Billboard charts, which I just think is awesome. Note that this is the shortest period of time ever that I've dedicated to talking about Death Clock. Quite a feat, in my opinion. We're just gonna keep this new music discussion train rolling with Sweden's own Ghost coming out with the leading single Rats from their upcoming album Prequel, due to arrive June 1st also. So get that while you're picking up the new Nervosa too, okay? Alright, cool. The song first dropped on SiriusXM Octane in full on April 12th, with the music video taking us by surprise the following day. Probably not too much of a surprise because it was Friday the 13th when the music video dropped. Anyways, I must say I've been struggling to pull myself away from the song since it came out. It is the exact inverse of what happened with Your Tongue Got the Cat. It's so fucking good. The song itself initially reminded me of when I did a project on the Black Plague in university. It also reminds me of when I was listening to No Rest for the Wicked nonstop for last week's episode. The whole song is just so good. The harmonies I just love it. I just love it. And then the music video. Okay? So, I'm not sure how many people out there have watched even 1 second of this TV show called Lip Sync Battle, where celebrities battle each other in lip sync performances. Most of the competition is in the theatrics over the actual lip syncing. But, okay. 1 week it had the actors Tom Holland and Zendaya from Spider-Man Homecoming. Zendaya did a killer version of 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars. Then Tom Holland does a piece from Singin' in the Rain where he tap danced around with an umbrella. And then it bumps right into Umbrella by Rihanna and okay. He just knocked the souls out of everyone with that. With the rain that flooded the stage, the choreography, the stunts. I'm still shaken by it. And it's been months since this lip sync battle aired. So what does that tangent have to do with Ghost and Rats? Oh, wow. Real quick, okay, new rule, new law. Every time you refer to that song, you gotta do the little vocalization just because it feels right, you know? Rats. Oh, wow. Anyways, so what does that Tom Holland tangent have to do with this song? Well, I'm pretty convinced, okay? I'm not saying for certain, but I am convinced that whoever was in charge of the music video saw Tom Holland's performance on Lip Sync Battle and was like, okay, so we're gonna do that with Ghost. We'll make it look like the aftermath of Telephone by Lady Gaga featuring Beyonce. We'll add a dash of Thriller by Michael Jackson. We'll add a gratuitous shot of Cardinal Copia doing that sexy lean back that Jeff Goldblum did in Jurassic Park while he's dancing amongst the chaos all around him. And then we'll add a demon white horse at the end. Can I have the name of whomsoever was in charge of that video? Because whoever you are, I need to send you a bouquet of flowers. I need to send you a box of chocolates. I want to kiss you on the hand. I want to refer you to every other metal band out there in the world because this is the level of theatrics that I am here for. If you're a band that prides yourself on theatrics and performance, from now on, I'm going to need no less than the exact level of drama that was delivered in Rats. Oh, wow. Whoever you are, yes, I love it so much. Thank you. I'm crying right now. If you haven't heard the song yet, I'm gonna make this next transition into a sample of the song so you can cry with me. Okay? Okay. Cool. Am I gonna do it? Am I gonna do it? Is it happening? Can I resist going this whole episode about metal news without busting a nut over the new Powerwolf track list? To answer your questions in chronological order, yes, 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 and no. Oh my god. So, over the past days, Powerwolf have been teasing their track list, their new album art, and god, it feels so good to just be this enthusiastic over new music. I love this feeling. Let's make it never end. Oh boy, where do I start? So, do I start with the track list, or do I start with the album cover? You know what? We'll talk about the track list first. Okay, let's do this. Wait! Before we do that, the album is titled Sacrament of Sin, and no arrival date has been announced as of the time of the script being written, but pre-orders are open. I'm fucking stoked. Okay, for real, this track list. Track 1, Fire and Forgive, which sounds like a sequel to their hit Amen and Attack. That's just a really bad joke on my part, let's move on. Track 2, Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend. Track 3, Killers with a Cross. Track 4, Incense and Iron. Track 5, Where the Wild Wolves Have Gone. Track 6, Stoßgebet, which will be an all-German track, so forgive my lack of accent there. My lack of good accent, I should say. You know, I'm learning Swedish, not German, which even then my Swedish accent is still really bad, so that's my excuse. Track 7, The Night Side of Siberia. Track 8, The Sacrament of Sin, the title track, of course. Track 9, Venom of Venus. Track 10, Nighttime Rebel. Track 11, Fist by Fist, Sacralizer Strike. And track 12, which is Midnight Madonna, which will be a bonus track exclusive through EMP and Napalm Records mail order. Napalm Store sets a little bit more groundwork for what these tracks can be expected to deliver. Let's take a look. According to this, it's going to be Powerwolves' boldest album to date. I'm okay with that. We're also going to be getting the Blood Red Five's first ballad in the form of Where the Wild Wolves Have Gone. Okay. Alright. I mean, hopefully by now we know how I feel about ballads, but for Powerwolf, I'm going to give it a chance. A really good chance. On the flip side though, Night Side of Siberia is going to be mega heavy. Can't wait to hear how that will sound. Incense and Iron is going to be anthemic, folky, and catchy. I can't wait to hear that on someone's live from YouTube video. Finally, Fire and Forgive promises to be an epic single. Ooh, I cannot wait to put this whole album into my ear holes. Okay, now this album art, which I dig. 100%. It illustrates a hooded werewolf holding marionettes of figures in each paw. One hand is controlling a scared person from a church with the church congregation behind him. The other hand is controlling a demon freshly risen from hell. I super appreciate the little reference to Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast in there, with Eddie controlling the devil who's controlling a man on that album cover. I just love it. It's honestly no secret that Powerwolf are fans of Maiden and are influenced by them, and I just think this is a subtle love letter to them. The not-so-subtle love letter that they've written would be in the cover of The Evil That Men Do by Iron Maiden on the Blessed and Possessed album. You also have the fact that each of these boys have put out their own Spotify playlist, like, here guys, this is what we really like, and like, literally on every single one of the members of Powerwolf's playlists, there's Iron Maiden tracks, okay? So, that's fun. I do want to talk about these pre-order packages, because boy, there's a lot going on here. The thing that catches my eye the most, okay, is the Priest Edition pre-order, which has a 3 CD set, which includes Sacrament of Sin, of course, the album that, you know, we're waiting for here. Along with that, there's an album of covers of Powerwolf songs by other bands. Holy shit. And we also have orchestral versions of songs off of Sacrament of Sin. So that's like the 3 CD bundle. There you go. There's also an antique looking metal cross in this package. And the cherry on top for me is a Powerwolf Priest stole. They're really selling the furry Powerwolf Priest experience here in 2018, and I am absolutely here for it. This particular bundle will set you back $55, which, if you want to live that Powerwolf furry Priest experience, I say it's worth the splurge. There are different other pre-order bundles, which I won't wax poetic too much about because, you know, I will be holding you hostage for your whole weekend if I do that. There's just some really good bundles here, as I'll say, and I'll link the pre-orders in the episode's description. Just, God, yes, though. Ugh. I do want to mention, though, that, okay, if you're a Powerwolf fan, the orchestral version CD is nothing new. It's, like, been a part of, like, this whole thing that they've been doing. You know, it's fine. So it's just more awesome content to take in. My favorite thing about this, though, is what these boys, whomst I consider my eccentric uncles from a faraway land, are doing with this cover album. The last album, Blessed and Possessed, in its deluxe edition, featured Powerwolf versions of other songs, like Shot in the Dark, Gods of War Arise, Out in the Fields, and The Evil That Men Do, as I mentioned earlier. The Sacrament of Sin is doing that and inverting that concept where other people are coming in and covering Powerwolf classics like We Drink Your Blood and all that fun stuff. So, I just love that concept so much. Yes! I'm not sure which song out of this whole track list I'm most excited for. You know, when this album comes, it'll be like coming across an undiscovered yet pure oasis in the forest. And what I'm gonna do when I find that oasis is spread my arms like an eagle, close my eyes, and fall backwards into the pool. This album is gonna cleanse my soul. Powerwolf Jesus is going to personally baptize me. My depression will be cured. Every mistake I've ever made in life will be wiped from history. God, this album forebodes so many good things for me. And let's just hope that a Powerwolf US tour is on that list of good things. If you're looking for some new music to fill your sad, empty ear holes, the one place you turn to is Tit Liquid's Metal Factory, the finest purveyor of the greatest heavy music that you will ever have the pleasure and privilege to experience. If you're a fan of the hit podcast My Brother and Me, you might recognize that I just invoked what I consider to be the best bit that ever happened on that show. I'm not entirely sure why I was just possessed by the specter of Universal spokes vampire Tit Liquid, but it's my favorite. And so here we are. If you enjoyed this episode of Lovely Talks Heavy, please, alright, share with a friend. It's only polite at this point. You know what, in fact, if you didn't enjoy it, share it anyways. You know why? Because every bit of validation that I get, knowing that people are consuming and enjoying this content that I put out on a weekly basis, fills the void where my soul once stood. That is, at least until the new Powerwolf hits, but you know, when that happens, you're still not going to stop sharing it. Engage with me on social media, goddammit. Tell me what bit of metal news really struck you in these past few weeks. On Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube, and Mixcloud, I am Lovely Metalhead. Follow, subscribe, retweet the funny fucking jokes I made with that one gif of Cornucopia off the new Ratch video. Which gif is that? You'll never know unless you follow me on Twitter. Got it? Until next week, guys, next Saturday, the next episode of Lovely Talks Heavy. You stay brutal, my friends. Goodbye!